Testing the mic. 46, 45, 44. Hello. So I am going to begin my usual scheduled stream. I streamed earlier this afternoon, but I figured I should have a stream at the normal time. And since I finished my Genshin Impact stuff for today, I thought it would be fun to try a new game out, which is Okami. This is actually a game I have played before, but I think it's been at least a decade since I played it. Hideki Kamiya, by the way, is the director of the original Devil May Cry. So you can tell this had a very good, well, good story writer, I guess at least. Good dev team. This is a very good game. I don't So I don't remember the text being um like this where I can't change the speed. Oh wow, a lot of official settings here, but what I actually wanted to do was to change this. Okay, so usually I have this set as screenshot, but I guess I can just rely on F12 for the screenshot. Works, right? Yep. So this will be a little annoying because the text crawls so slowly. I didn't realize, or I didn't remember that I couldn't make the text instant. It, Shiranui, right, that was the name. Shiranui. Familiar of Orochi. This is my first time playing this? It's my first time in probably over a decade playing it, but I have played it 1.5 times before, basically. I beat it once, and then I played it again, except I challenged myself to hold to just 3 hearts the whole game, but I gave up, well, yeah, close to the end, I think. The one villager took it, yeah. So I don't remember the details of the story very well. This is quite an old game, indeed, and I do love it. I loved it. It is Yeah, like I said, I think it's the best Zelda game I've played. Right, I remember the tough guy. I remember there's a rocket of a sort that goes to the moon, which I thought was pretty funny. Nagi and Nami. Okay, yeah, they were the couple. It is also actually interesting watching this again because I do kind of remember what happens vaguely later in the story. And these characters meant nothing to me when I watched this cutscene for the first time, but now I remember sort of their personalities a bit. Like the guy was kind of a goof from what I remember. Actually, the woman was a bit too. Yeah, I think yeah, one reason I decided to try beating it with just 3 stars or 3 hearts was that I thought the combat system was really good. Well, it was good, way better than Zelda, and that's what makes me consider this the best Zelda game because it does all of the regular Zelda stuff very well, and then it has a really good combat system. Nice. Yep, I do remember the legend to an extent. The dog came and saved Swordsman, or it's a wolf. Right, it's not a dog, it's a wolf, but people call it a dog. Little doggy. Oh, right. This is where they introduced the draw what is it, calligraphy mechanic. It was funny, this was right around when the Wii came out, and this was a PS2 game, and everyone was saying how this game belonged on the Wii because of the handheld controller. It made such perfect sense. And the art style really lends itself to like it's reminiscent of the Wind Waker, of course, because it's cel shaded as well. This kind of reminds me actually of the Bakemonogatari season 2 with I believe it's Shinobu Time. I believe it was the fourth or fifth chapter in that. There's one episode in particular where it's all just scrolling left the whole time. It's also funny that I see these silhouettes now of especially of the swordsman, and I can see how clearly he looks so silly. It's such a cartoony style, but the first time I saw it, that didn't occur to me. Just looked like swordsman. But maybe I'm also projecting my memories of that character onto the image now. Nice. Alright, so this is where finally defeat him. This is a pretty damn long cutscene, but I don't think any other cutscene in the game is this long except maybe a few towards the end. I don't remember the silhouettes of those other characters. Recognize them. Tsukuyomi. Yeah. Age of Endless Peace. I don't think that's actually a thing. Like, it has never, yeah. That's not a thing that exists. Endless Peace. Endless War, maybe. But sadly, not the other way around. Hundred years. Not that long, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. That's 2 generations, maybe 3, depending on how you count it. Yeah, 3. Oh. Oh, so this guy ends up freeing Orochi. That's how it begins. Okay. I don't know. I feel like if that guy tells me that, I probably wouldn't, accept. It's kind of like the problem at the end of Star Wars Episode 9, uh, Rise of the Skywalker, when the evil Palpatine's just telling you, strike me down and, create the greatness of the Sith or whatever. Why would you strike him down at that point then? There's no motivation. There's an evil guy telling you to do something evil. Just say no. Oh, hello, Nat. Thank you for coming by again. Hope you had a decent couple of hours. You can see this is Okami. Don't know if you've ever played it, but it is one of my favorite games of all time, I would say. Certainly up there. Probably top 10, maybe top 15. This is a game that can take upwards of 50 hours to beat the first time around, though. But actually, since I have beaten it once before, I might end up getting through it a little faster this time. But I barely remember. I do remember the Sakuya, yeah, she's a cutie. I love her, the peach design of her cleavage. It's so great. Rey killed Palpatine. Oh, right, that is true, actually. She did kill Palpatine. But I think at that point, Palpatine had changed his plans, because he kept changing plans from her killing him to somehow they're a duo now, but then he kills Kylo Ren anyway. So at that point, I think he had a different plan. It was weird. He's pretty. Takuya. That's a nice, a very nice kimono. I'll admit. And it was only like maybe 30 hours into this game that I realized that the world map, as you unlock it, is Japan. But because obviously it doesn't make sense because the area that you actually explore in this game is probably less than 10 square miles, but the map itself looks like all of Japan, which is I don't know how many millions of square miles, certainly at least over thousands. But this game is orders of magnitude less, but it just looks like Japan. Amaterasu, yes, Ame. Rather than the consistency of the storyline, the trilogy is more of a joke than anything else. Yeah, I would agree. As somebody who is not a big Star Wars fan to begin with, I didn't care that much that the sequels were that bad, but I thought they were bad. Yeah, I have some friends who are big Star Wars fans, and they were very saddened by what Disney did to Star Wars. This game also doesn't have auto text uh scroll, I guess. Oh boy. Certainly feels like a decade plus old game, even if the visuals have held up really well. I would say the visuals here, you can tell it's low resolution, but still, if a game came out today looking like this, I think it would be accepted as just good looking. Fine. Oh, is The Mandalorian good? That is what I've heard, but to be honest, I didn't enjoy the first few episodes, so I stopped watching. Oh, right. This is the introduction of Navi, or what's his actual name? At least he doesn't say, hey, listen all the time. Not that his voice is any less annoying, to be honest. Isun, okay. What's his... I love the little icon he has. He's like a firefly, but you can see it's basically a miniature human wearing one of those round hats. The round straw hats. Hey, that's not bad for a little bug. I couldn't draw that. Found an interesting video on possible team builds for Ganyu. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, sure, I'd love to check that out. Thanks. There's a reason for that. Actually, it's funny. I've been watching Castlevania on Netflix. Like I watched a few couple episodes today, and this actually reminds me a lot of that. It's just the Japanese version of kind of a very similar. Well, it's not that similar, but there are a lot of similarities, I guess, with the rise of an ancient evil coming and basically trying to destroy the entire nation, city by city. But then again, I guess that's a fairly common enough myth in general. It's the issues with trying to survive in a hostile world. There's always dragons or monsters who are trying to kill you. They're just not literal dragons, not literal monsters. At least there were. Nowadays we're a lot more safe. Except for this little virus that you might have heard of. I think that's probably the one that's most danger. Well, maybe not most dangerous, but most on our minds right now. Oh, peach. Giant peach. That's funny, actually. Yeah, in Eastern mythology, a giant peach is a thing. It's used in Japanese lore, and I'm pretty sure it exists in Chinese lore too. And it's also a Roald Dahl thing with James and the Giant Peach. I wonder if there's any relation at all, or if it's just a pure coincidence. Some kind of special power. Konami has many good licenses, but don't do anything with them. Oh, right. Yeah, Castlevania is a Konami thing, right? I heard the 3D games weren't that great. I enjoyed the DS games definitely quite a bit. Let's see. Square is dash. Oh, square is headbutt. So triangle is dig. Which one's the poop button? I know there's a button that's dedicated to poop, I think. Or is it P? Maybe it's P, because it might be. It seems a little weird to have a dedicated poop button. Okay, so those do the same thing. It's the map. All right, let's see if I can get to that. Oh, what was that? Examine. Where we're gonna reach that is with some kind of special power. All right, maybe what it needs me to do is to go through here and acquire the special power. I vaguely remember the opening cutscene, and I do remember being in this kind of like, I don't know, stellar environment that looked kind of heavenly, not like in the middle of the woods or something. Right stick to look around. Point of view. Right, so okay, so L1 allows me to basically look in first person. Oh, I'm realizing that yeah, the controls are, I guess during the PS2 era, during this time, the default camera controls for third person action like this was inverted. So I have to actually invert in order to get back to, yeah, so this is more like the controls we're used to now where it's not inverted. Konami has Castlevania, Metal Gear, Silent Hill, for example. Oh right, yeah, Metal Gear, which without Hideo Kojima, I doubt that series will ever become, what it used to be again. And to be honest, I've never played a single Silent Hill game. Not too much into horror games, to be honest. The only Resident Evil I really enjoyed was 4 because it was so action oriented. And yeah, like I said, I think the 3D Castlevanias weren't so great, but the DS ones that I played were really good. And I do intend to play Symphony of the Night someday. because I do enjoy the Metroidvania games. The first Metroidvania game I actually played was Metroid Prime, which is a very unorthodox Metroidvania game. First of all, because it's first person, but yeah, mainly because of that, really. But I would definitely have to place Metroid Prime as definitely one of the best games I've ever played. Like I said, Okami was at certainly top 15, maybe top 10. Metroid Prime would certainly top 10, almost definitely top 5 actually. It's a really good game. Metroid Prime. That game was gripping. Just her game once in a year is good and just enough for you. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. I find either they're boring or they're too intense for me. Like I don't care about the stories sometimes, and I just at that point I don't it doesn't motivate me to keep playing, or it's just like so scary and intense that I can't play much at all, or much at once, and so I don't end up playing it. Press X to jump. Okay, double jump. Most of the Castlevania you played was on Game Boy and Symphony of the Night on PS1. I say Game Boy, huh? I didn't know they had or they had Castlevania on Game Boy. But I guess that makes sense because they did have one on DS. And to be honest, Castlevania is not a game that needs the DS. There was nothing about the DS that really made the game better other than being able to have the mini map below the whole time. But that's not necessary by any means. Just a nice thing to have. Lord of Shadows was really good. Oh, really? And half of 2 was good? Huh. Lord of Shadows was one of the 3D ones, huh? So maybe I was mistaken and the 3D Castlevanias were pretty good actually, or at least the first one was. Holy Bone S. Source 3 units of solar energy. Alright, this is the drawing tutorial. Amy. So from what I recall, I have to press L2, hold L2 and use the right analog stick to draw. 13 brush gods. Like the way she jumps. It's It actually reminds me of the slimes in Genshin Impact now that I think about it. Right, I figured out holding circle will at least allow me to quickly go through this text, so that's good. Let's see, so that's where I came from. Well, let's start by going here. The game clearly wants me to go there. I want to draw. What was the command to draw? Maybe I have to go up here and learn the ability to draw. But in some text scrolls I can't hold circle and make it faster. Oh right, you have to use constellations to activate the drawing abilities. Oh, oh R1 to hold the brush. Okay. Right. And oh, it's the left stick to do it. Omigami. I like this cutscene, how it keeps circling this dragon, and how if you look at the butt of the dragon, he is coming out of a scroll, right? That's pretty neat. Actually didn't notice that the first time I played this game. You got 3 constellations today, right? Became a constellation, managed to survive until now. So I believe we'll be seeing that kind of cutscene 12 more times in this game. I don't remember all the powers. I remember one of them is cutting, another is a bomb, which is pretty cool. The bomb's a fun one. But actually, can I? No, I can't slice. This is. Oh, see, I don't remember how to sprint. Another thing that makes this game so Zelda-like is the tutorials. Just they go over the top in guiding you to exactly like what you need. They make sure there's absolutely no way you're gonna miss what you need in the tutorial. There we go. Now, I don't recall if this game, just like in Zelda, if they show in literally every cutscene, or literally every time you open a chest to get rupees or something, there's a cutscene of Link opening the chest and presenting the rupees up to the camera above him. Like literally every chest you open, that happens. And it's kind of bizarre that they don't, just show it the first time and skip it somehow. Or also, I think they say like the green rupees are worth 1 or blue are worth 10 or whatever. Again, literally every time they tell you. So there's no way that you can miss it. I guess it helps if you haven't played the game in a while, but that's also something the game can actually manage, right? Because it can. Oh, okay. So the sprinting just happens naturally if you run it without stopping for a while. Oh, right. And also, yep. Also, I think you can start sprinting faster. Yeah, by doing dash and then. Okay, good. Remember the controls. Now, I don't remember what the astral pouch does, but I'm sure the game will explain it to me when I need to know. So, yeah. Gosh, I love the sprinting effects in this game. How it changes the trail behind her, sorry. Because at first it's just dust, and then as she gets faster, it changes to grass, and then as she gets even faster, there's flowers mixed in with the grass. And of course it makes sense because she is the god of the sun, Amaterasu. Fountain of Nagi. Yep, I do remember that this is the first sort of dungeon. Not really a dungeon, but the first area of this game. Oh, I think I might get a constellation here to cut, because I think cutting might be the first ability. And I see all these rocks around here that are possible to cut once you get the cutting ability. Dumplings. Kind of like the idea of like folks at this temple seeing this little wolf appear and just suddenly start smashing every single what is it? Not barrel, jar. There's Nagi. And eating all the fruits? Because what kind of wolf eats fruit? Be very confused. Okami game director was the same as Devil May Cry. Indeed, yep. Hideki Kamiya. Capcom. So this might have been one of his last games at Capcom before he went off to found Platinum Games. But this was his Zelda game, and he, in my opinion, made a masterpiece, just like he made with Devil May Cry. Oh, that's neat. So I'm gonna fix the sword by using my current ability, and by fixing the sword, I think the sword will give me a new ability, which is to cut. Yeah, and it doesn't even give me like 1 minute to spend some time destroying the jars before Isin just tells me, hey, you gotta do this, do this, do this now, do this, do this. Yeah, he is very, I agree, because he also directed Bayonetta, which is that also a great game. I wouldn't say Bayonetta is one of my top games, but it is a great action game. How'd you get so good? I'm sure it's a combination of talent and hard work, right? Too? Not just talent. Or do I have to make this connect? Maybe I just have to fill that in? Yeah, that's... You never played Bayonetta? Well, I mean, it's at this point a fairly old game, so I would actually say it probably, if you want to play an action game of that style, there actually Bayonetta 2 might be better, but I never had a Wii, so I never played Bayonetta 2. Achigami. Bayonetta 2 has some of the funnest cutscenes. Because the main character has this ability of, she has hair that grows on impulse. It all grows out of her head, but she can use it to cover her body as a shield, basically. And it gets bigger and smaller as she fights. And she fights with guns on her heels, which is really cool. Maybe you should play Bayonetta 3 when it comes out? I don't know. Is Bayonetta 3 in development? Are they making one? I didn't know about that if so, but I haven't heard. But I imagine Bayonetta 2 is probably a very good game, just because Bayonetta 1 was good. Yeah, she does have a pleasant design. If you like glasses, especially, she is top tier, I would say. She hits a lot of fetishes, I guess. Power slash. All right. Good. Yep. So this is as I remember it. The first ability you get after the second ability you get, I guess, is the cut. According to Google, third game in the series was announced in 2017. Okay. Yeah, it's hard to tell how long these games are gonna take. But okay, if it's been announced. Lucky you, I'm gonna tag along with you. Also do like the oh right, they even have an arrow just literally telling you where to go. Kind of enjoy exploring in these games. And later in the game, like very soon later, it's gonna open up quite a bit and allow me to explore. But what this? Yeah, we can. Oh, what happened to our top thing? Not sure why that disappeared just then. Oh, sure. I don't remember. Can you cut that thing? No, just the trees. It's like you can't cut the actual arch. Alright, time for some battle. Oh, right, okay, so the combat is based around basically getting them hurt enough to go into basically what fatality mode, and then in fatality mode I can just use the brush to kill them. There's a pommel horse. There's a or is that what that thing's called? I actually don't know if it's pommel horse is the right term. Pommel horse actually I think is a term for the gymnastics thing where you do a vault onto. But anyway, there's a horse thing. But if you ever played Bayonetta, you would know that there's a wooden horse that features prominently in one of her attacks, which is rather amusing because Bayonetta's attacks are largely based around, well, not largely, but there's a lot of BDSM themes in her attacks and torture, both sexual torture and just like straight up torture. So a lot of her attacks, they have sort of sexual torture devices, and she tortures demons and angels actually. No, mainly angels to death. Um, oh, oh, when you use her to fight. Sounds good to you? Yeah, I mean it's very good. It's a very good game, and the I mean the whole lore is pretty wild. It's I couldn't possibly do it justice by trying to explain it, so I won't. But it involves evil angels in heaven and a fallen angel, I think, and some demons who are good, and yeah, there's a lot going on there. So I imagine if they'd ever remade Okami instead of doing just an HD release, they would probably fix up her swimming animations because that was kind of a little not there. Not a whole lot of swimming animation on that one. But the thing about this game really is that I can't imagine them really remaking it because it's so good already and there's not really much you can do to improve it with modern technology. You can make it look a little more crisp and you can improve some of the UI and such, but that really doesn't warrant a full-on remake. And Okami was actually not that popular. It didn't make a lot of money, sadly. So there wouldn't be very much monetary incentive in remaking it either. Feel it is made by the creators of DMC. Yeah, yeah, Bayonetta. I guess yeah, I think Bayonetta was the first game by Platinum Games after Hideki Kamiya left Capcom, and if not the first, it was one of the first, certainly. And I'm guessing Hideki Kamiya was kinda. He felt like he had lost his shackles from Capcom, kind of the same way Hideo Kojima probably felt like he lost the shackles from Konami after he started his own company after quitting Konami. And so he kind of probably felt free to go all out and do wild things, and that game's certainly wild, Bayonetta. This game's gorgeous too, though, but certainly doesn't have BDSM torture themed attacks. It's more calligraphy focused than torture and BDSM. Oh, Isin. I guess one thing that keeps me liking Isin so much, even though his voice is annoying like Navi's, is that he has a really just fun personality. I guess he's a lot like Paimon now that I think about it, or maybe it's more apt to say it the other way around. You know, playing this game now after playing Genshin, I can certainly see a lot of similarities. I mean, it's just starting off with the visual style, right? But I mean, it's just that they're both cel-shaded games. But I'm also noticing the assistant, so to speak, or the secretary who hangs out with you has kind of similar characteristics in a way. And of course, they're both open world games. Okay. Pretty sure this doesn't work. Yeah, I do remember I tried that. We look at the map. So I came from over there, and I can go up a spiral here, but otherwise there's nothing doing. So I'll just check out the spiral here, see what's here, and then go back if I find nothing. I see those these lanterns, and I'm like, oh, where's that geo thing nearby so I can break it and bring it over here to light it up? Like everything looks like Genshin now. Every game is Genshin Impact. Okay, I think there's supposed to be water here. I don't remember how I'm supposed to fill it up, but it's gonna happen. Played too much Genshin in your opinion? Yeah, that happens. It's like how when you play too much Tetris, you sometimes start seeing blocks everywhere. Beauty. What's going on down there? Can't jump over. Can I jump over here? Or if I can jump from here, or if it's meant me. Oh, it's a okay. There's actually a good level of control after you jump. It's not just yeah, it's not like in real life where your trajectory is basically determined after you jump. You can actually curve yourself after you jump. Oh, he also auto jumps over these fences. Or she. Damn it, I keep getting to refer to her by her correct gender. And I don't know if Twitch is cool with that. Twitch might ban me for misgendering. I hear they're not big fans of that. No, no time to be goofing off. The good thing those things regenerate. Be awful to live here and some wolf came by and destroyed that thing. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to skip everything and just go directly to... Well, let's go start by going to the mirrors. I can save there. Don't worry with me. No problem with this kind of things. Guess so. Guessing Eason's gonna bitch at me again if I go in there and try to do something, so I'm just gonna go all the way here. I'm pretty sure should activate something. Yeah, Twitch moderators are really crazy about things. They can be, but you know, I have very few eyeballs on me, so I have very little chance at any. Even if I did something that were verifiably against the rules, I doubt that it would cause much commotion at all. There is a Twitch streamer that I follow who is sadly being targeted by um, a petition online because they think that she is a bad influence. But yeah, it's really because she's just super skinny and they think unhealthily so. But anyway, on to better things. Let's go on to finding solution. I don't remember what that thing is. Is it might be a stamina bar for swimming. Find somebody with a heartbeat. Yeah, no shit, there's something strange going on. A lot of guys have turned into stone. Okay. Now it's decided to just straight up give me the arrow so that I can't possibly go to the wrong place. Okay, so it just wants me to go right back to where I came from, huh? Okay. Sure. I wouldn't have minded, Isin, if you just told me that. I don't need the arrow. If you said the sacred deck we had been to before, I probably would have figured it out. That this is the one you were talking about. Sun's not even shining. Purse? Or a circle in the sky. Your name is Amaterasu. Yeah, no shit. Sun god. Celestial brush. Nice. Yeah, that's a good name. Emmy. That's quite a voice. Mr. Orange. Man, look at that beard. That is an impressive beard. Especially the way it sticks out. It doesn't just, you know, droop limply. It just stands out like straight up or straight forward. Pretty impressive. Alright, looks like we gotta fight some demons. Tenkomaru. Ah, nice. Forgot she does that. Let's see. So I do know Circ X allows me to at least jump to avoid damage. But is there a dash or a dodge? Circle doesn't. What about triangle? Alright, nice. Oh, right. I think those are, yeah, praise. They're basically reputation points. And I think once you get enough of them in a certain area, you basically cleanse the whole area of all the demons, and everything becomes green and bright and everything's growing. I have a feeling we're in for an epic adventure. That's often what they say at the beginning of epic adventures. Did I try Ori and the Blind Forest? Let's see, I've actually played one of the Ori games, or played some of one of the Ori games. I visit. I've played it somewhat. Ori and the Blind Forest. Yeah, actually, that's the one I've played some of. I've only played a few hours of it. It's a. I really enjoyed it so far. I thought it was a very pretty game. And I think it was kind of a Metroidvania. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was a Metroidvania rather than a roguelike kind of game, because it seems every 2D platformer these days is one of those two. But I did get stuck at a certain part, and yeah, I should look it up. It involved, I think, these lasers that were shooting at me, and these things that were these explosive bombs that were fan menu. Yeah, there were these explosive bombs that I couldn't quite figure out how to get to the next part, but shouldn't be that hard to just look it up. Regeneration Sunrise, Power Slide. Tools. Not not had the time to play Ori and the Will of the Wisps, sadly. Yeah, that's the sequel, right? It one. Okay. Yeah, and I imagine Genshin Impact has been taking up a lot of your video game time, more so than a new game like Ori. It's one reason. Ooh, you can actually feed them, huh? By just going out and. Oh, right, you can feed animals in this. I forgot about that. You can feed, I think, literally every animal that you come by, as long as you have the food. And this cutscene actually goes on forever, I think, as long as you don't press any buttons. So the only way to move on with the game is by interrupting the cutscene manually. I think. Maybe I've... Or does it require at least one full circle? Not responding. Okay, guess I just have to press start. Oh, right, and that feeding animals does raise reputation. Raise. Yeah, Genshin plus F goes 2 hours a day. That's a lot. Yeah, it is a lot to do every single day, right? Orange. I imagine Genshin probably takes more time, right? Because FGO... You can actually even play FGO while doing something else pretty easily. And burning through like 100 or 280 AP in a day actually isn't all that much. That's 7 runs of 40 AP, which if you're just farming, a 40 AP quest can take you all of 3 minutes or 4 maybe. Yeah, during some events, certainly I agree with that. Especially lottery events, of course, but even non-lottery events sometimes can take up a lot of time, especially if you're reading the story while playing. Oh, you can bite them. Ah, I didn't remember this part. Alright, let's go down to the actual town, the village, and see if any of the other people have, well, become people instead of like statues. I can bite her. Also listen to her. Messing up my crops. Digging holes with triangle. It makes me mad. Get a gut thumping. Okay. If I do that in front of you, doesn't seem inclined to attack me. Little kid. Hayabusa. Dig up 9 turnips in a row. Get all 10. Oh, okay. It looks like there's a little challenge quest I can do. I imagine that'll get me reputation from... Okay, that dog doesn't look that small, but so I wasn't expecting to be able to pick it up, but... Oh. Always read the story, even the interludes, which are not always interesting compared to Genshin. Oh yeah, it's well, so you say not always interesting compared to Genshin. I'd put it differently. I'd say it's almost always less interesting than anything in Genshin. Like stories in FGO, especially the interludes. I guess the events actually usually are pretty good, and these days the actual story chapters are hit or miss, but they're generally okay. But I'd say all of them are way worse than Genshin in terms of story. Let's see. So can I actually do this? So what happens if I... I don't know why it's not properly dig... Oh, okay. So, let's see. Can I actually slow her down by doing this? Okay, so I can slow her down. I just have to make sure not to get hit while getting all of this. Not even once, huh? Oh, you're over there. Let's draw you over there first and then slow you down. So I know when she gets close, she does stop and then try to attack you, which kind of gives you a chance to start running away. Oh. Looks like she also loses attention after a little bit. Oh. I do vaguely remember doing this the first time. It is quite a silly little side, or I guess mini game in a way. Side challenge. There we go. Got all 10. Oh, aw. I think the 10th one might have been a special one too, actually, so I should do it again for that 10th one. Aw. Have to go already? Okay, thank you for coming by anyway. And yeah, have a good rest of the week. Thank you for the good wishes. Wait, I already did it. I got all 10. Is it because I failed to pick up the 10th one, which is kind of a special one? Alright. So can I use the iframes on the jump? Does the jump have iframes? Oh. Well, clearly it's doable, because I did it. But it just took a while. And to be honest, I'm not looking forward to trying to do it again, because This isn't. This is actually pretty fun, but not super fun. I do prefer the combat generally in this game when I am playing it. Yeah, and she does get does just lose interest after a certain point. Oh, so jumping towards her is a no-go. The iframes just aren't long enough that it's possible to get slapped, and she doesn't have much of a cooldown at all for her attacks. They come out, the second one can come out real quickly if you don't jump away from her. So, that's something I'll have to focus on doing. I guess this is sort of a training method, a way the game teaches you about avoiding damage and the attack cues the enemy has, and also using the celestial brush to break up the enemy's attacks so that you have time to run away and reset basically if needed. But you also have to manage the ink because the ink only regenerates at a certain rate and it's not that fast. It's close. Let's get you far away from there. Then do that. Okay. Then now let's try to pick that up. Oh shit. Come on. Where are you? Where's the lady? There we go. I have to bite that and then bring it to the little boy. Oof. Okay, so I guess it wasn't just a matter of doing it. I had to actually provide evidence. And somehow the way this works is that no matter what order you pick them up in, the 10th one is the secret one, huh? Quite an interesting universe they live in. Bushi's sake house. Well, sake sounds good. Ooh, watermelon. Ale of rice. Just hop into the sake. Sake does smell good, I'll say that. I enjoy sake not that much. It's not bad, not great, but I do appreciate the smell of sake. Aw. Oh, she's the sake brewer. Triangle above their head. Okay, thank you for letting me know, Ishan. Very convenient. Oh, Sano, huh? Alright, so I think Susano might be a town over or something. And he has a sword, clearly. Oh, he grabs the chickens by the... She grabs the chickens by the butt, huh? Right. Let's see. Mrs. Orange, ah. She doesn't really give a fuck, does she? Hole was gone. I like her singing. Definitely sounds like an old Asian lady singing. As somebody who lived with an old Asian lady. Okay. Jeez. You're so needy, Grandma. Oh, right, there's a wind of ability as well. Cherry cakes, nice. See, do I have the stamina to swim there? Somebody seems to be snoring nearby. Let's see. Okay, it's not possible to actually just climb up from swimming. I think it's gonna have to involve either drawing something, or using the sprint to get up to max speed. Right, let's just go talk to this guy. He is the main part of the story after all. Oh. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to jump back up there. Hey, wake up. What about this? Impressive. Alright, so I guess I'm actually not supposed to come here until somewhat later. Maybe I have to complete some more quests and other stuff. Oh, neat. He has a shrine. Right, she can also attack in the air. Using X and square that makes her do a dash in the air. Let me check the mill. I've been in there yet. The sake lady. Rice balls. Okay, not a whole lot going on. In that case, next, let's try going here and seeing. Yeah, the person here was a rock before. Now they're not. Do they have anything they can tell me? Only road out of the village, kind of like, what is it? Tremors? Okay. Think you just don't have the strength. And I guess there are demons. So this guy, he's like a monkey, and he uses an instrument, a guitar-like instrument, one that I guess is Japanese. Nice. This game is oddly violent in the depiction of the combat, because you do straight up cut these folks in half at times. Nice. Got a lot of reputation. Okay, that solar energy, ink. Oh, if it's full, it saves her from death. Can improve. Ouch. Well, for now I can't improve this, so let's work on that. So I think what I'll do is I'll prioritize the ink and the other things. And if it, at some point, if I hit a difficulty wall that doesn't allow me to proceed, then I might start raising the heal or the HP. But I'm gonna try my best to keep that HP at 3, just to make it a little harder. Because this is a very easy game if you just play it the normal way. Well, not very easy. To be honest, some of the bosses are not that easy, but I will say much easier than the typical Bloodborne boss. Like the hardest boss in the game, I would describe as much easier than a typical Bloodborne boss. So it's not that hard of a game. Certainly not as easy as Kingdom Hearts, though. Now, there's a game that is basically trivially easy. I guess it at least had the challenge quest of beating Sephiroth. It did take me a good number of tries to beat Sephiroth, but he was a very fun boss fight. Very fun. Just really I think he had a lot of phases, and you just had to be perfect, because he could really just destroy you with a lot of his attacks. I like how he uses the word Fido, a distinctly American or English term in a Japanese setting. But I respect it because this is a localization, it's a translation, not just, I don't know, they're not just straight up translating word for word. Quit bugging me, you bug. I like how they depict his arm hairs. They look like little wind or cloud gusts. Right. Oh, I want to take him. It's not that far away. You live like right next door, dude. Yeah, time to put up or shut up. No time like the present. I know that's a phrase that's used a lot in this game, actually. It's, well, maybe not a lot, but it's used at least more than this just one line, which in my opinion is a lot because that's not a very common line, especially in a video game. But I do think that fits the tone of this game. But, and I guess most video games, because it's all about, in video games, it's all about doing stuff in the present. Because when else are you going to do stuff? In the future? Well, you're going to have to wait for that. And in the past? Ain't nobody got that ability. You need a time machine for that. Only time you can do anything is in the present. Alright, so you're a liar. Okay, you need sake? I'll get you some sake. I guess, in a way, this is sort of Ganyu Simulator. Because, I mean, you're not a half god kind of character like Ganyu, but you are, well, I guess you're kind of like a half god character. Not like Ganyu, though. And your job is basically to go around helping people, making, improving their lives, and you're just working 24/7. There's nothing, you got no rest, because it's your job and it's all you do. Fixing something that's broken. Okay, let's see. How is the mill broken? Ah, sure. Gonna get out and see if I can get a better view. Also, I like how this effect, the tree, no matter what angle you look at the tree at, it's the exact same, which is using a sprite, which is how the game Doom worked. And for that reason, there a lot of the like decorations in that game, if you look at it, no matter what angle you look at it from, it's always the exact same image, just different sizes. Sometimes, like the enemies in particular, they had it at like 8 different images, I think, for 8 different angles, maybe something like that. Maybe it was just 4. But with enemies, I think left and right were sometimes the same, but they were also sometimes different. Of course, Okami is not a sprite-based game like Doom was. It is a truly 3D game with of course it has pixels, with the polygons, rendered polygons and everything. Whereas Doom was a 2D game that was depicted on a three-dimensional projection, basically. But the world was fundamentally 2D. There we go. Got some free sake. Now let's go Go bring that over to that swords guy who is does not deserve this, but whatever. At least I'm not doing tax audits and pitting different merchants against each. Oh right, he's still out. He's outside, not against each other. Yeah. Yep. That's what you wanted. Vista of the gods. A man without a drink is like a warrior without a sword. Alright, let's do some training, dude. Oh, right. I fake everything for him. Exploding. It's funny how if you just cut it in half in that angle, the rock just disappears. Because in real life, if you were to cut that rock in that angle, it would just still be there. You'd need to cut it a few more times before you could really get it to like a state that you could just kind of push away. It would just be two pieces of rock blocking your way instead of one. Monsters? I do appreciate that he decides to step up even if he's terrified and he has no idea what he's doing. He's got the right attitude. Well, in a way. Got the positivity at least. But he's got a lot of stupidity. Okay. Oh right, she's also got the butt window with that looks like peaches. Guardian sapling. That doesn't sound good. This is getting heavy, yeah, like Marty McFly might say. Oh right, there is time travel in this game, isn't there? Don't you go back in time to 100 years in the past in the as mentioned in the first cutscene? I don't remember actually, but I remember it gets really wild towards the end. The story really, uh, yeah, it's. I know there's definitely sci-fi elements, which you don't really expect when you start playing this game. All right, yeah. So this is clearly a depiction of Japan, right? Or maybe it's only a part of it. Fresh scent of flowers protect you always. That's kind of like the plague doctors. Or no, they weren't plague doctors. From what I understand, the people who wore those doctor masks with those beaks, like her name, the one who kills Hunter, the Hunter of Hunters in Bloodborne, she had an outfit like that. But that was not used during the plague, from what I heard. From what I, yeah, heard from the research that they were used later, and I guess in the Victorian era, which is when Bloodborne is based off of. So yeah, but anyway, those that I guess those masks are still called Plague Doctor masks because that's what everyone thinks of them as. But anyway, from what I understand, they held flowers and other sweet-smelling things to protect them because they thought smells carried disease. And to an extent, there's some truth to that, right? Because smells are a sense that are only possible to transmit by literally ingesting some of the molecule. That's what a smell is. It's the sensors in your nose that actually detect some of the molecule. So every time you smell something awful, you're literally well, not maybe ingesting is not the right term, but taking into your body some of that chemical. So that's pleasant. Um, but uh, I like how he's just totally cool about this wolf came by and wants to shop and buy and sell stuff. So it's probably good to get at least a couple feed bags so that I can exercise. I don't ever use consumables like this, so yeah, healing items could be useful, but I think yeah, just buy two of each of. I'll be almost bankrupt, but I'll have. Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So that was a quick little first stage of the game. Shinshu Field. I guess I should just head left, go towards that tree, then head left again. I think one of those things might activate a fight. Cursed zones. No. Okay, or maybe does this thing activate? Yeah, it does. Let's see. Okay, very easy. Also, I think I want to raise the try changing the and I want to raise the sensitivity. The brush sensitivity I think is actually fine, but the camera sensitivity I want to raise. But still not that great. I think I'll try this for now, and if I decide that even this isn't good enough, then I will switch over to just maximizing the sensitivity completely. That guy still has full HP, close to it. I also recall that Amaterasu gets bigger and better swords later in the game. I don't remember what those swords looked like though, but I'm also looking forward to that. Let's see. So we got this tree here. Make a wither tree bloom. Right, that's one of the 13 abilities from the yeah, that guy's turn is done. One of the 13 abilities with the brush, from what I remember. Alright, there we go, just rolling over all the fights. I do wish there was a difficulty setting. I don't, there wasn't one at the start. You don't, like, it would be nice if I could play it in hard mode. I think there is a hard mode, maybe, that unlocks after you play it once. But the fact is, this game is easy even the first time you play it, in my opinion. This is not the first time I'm playing it, but I'm being, as someone who's very rusty with the combat, even so I'm kind of rolling over it right now, you know? I don't think I got the time bonus. Oh, I did get the time bonus. I guess since that one has a lot of enemies, it gave, oh, oh, you have your power? Okay, let's get through this side. Good. I guess there's a bridge that I should have used. Alright, done. Also wouldn't mind if the fight encounters were fewer but involved more enemies. Maybe have them have waves of enemies come at you instead of having it all at once. I guess that's one thing that works about Genshin Impact. They tend to have multiple waves of enemies, usually, instead of just only fighting one wave. That way you can have a lot of enemies in total without overwhelming the player. Nameless moon. Okay. This guy's a hippie, huh? Figure running from the lake towards. It's called Henna Valley. Trip crystal ball that makes plants grow. Bad karma, man. Yeah, they were totally going for the hippie vibe, I guess. I'm guessing I can make a fire under that later once I'm able to make fires. Can I make fires with the celestial brush? I think that's one of the powers. Pretty sure wind is yeah, wind is one of them. And it involves drawing spirals. I'm not sure if it was preferable for me to cross over before I loaded this or not, but let's see what it gives you. Hana Valley, not Henna. Ah, Henna's a pretty name, not gonna lie. I've always been a big fan of that name for a girl. And I think both Hana work and Hannah. They're both good names. The second one has a pretty good nature of being godhood by one love. Huh. Being a palindrome, which is always a neat thing. Alright, some fire effects are pretty. Oh, okay, I guess here's where I guess since this is sort of a mini boss sort of situation, maybe not mini boss, but like a kind of a chapter story event. They have multiple waves. Yeah, that was a fun one. A little more tough, a little more having to deal with crowd control. Not really crowd control, to be honest. More just dealing with multiple enemies. Backfit. Resistible to animals who dine on fish. Right, so we got these. Huh. Right. Alright. Try that. That's how you do it? Can I just pass by it by running past it? And yeah, zigzag and it won't hit me? Okay, yeah. Also, I can just cut it down. That works too. Just murder it. That works. Why not? It's just a tree. And it's an asshole tree. It's trying to hurt you. In fact, it's succeeding at hurting you. Deserves to die. Works better as firewood or paper. Okay, this might be a difficult fight. New monster, maybe? Yeah. Gotta say, the way the combat progression works with new enemies and new weapons, it's like you can definitely see how experience playing Devil May or making Devil May Cry probably served them really well. Yeah, this guy's kind of a mini boss actually, with the amount of HP he has. There we go. Nice, got the time bonus. Okay, so I think this might be the plant growing ability. Saving your ass, or at least trying. Secret training ground, really? Perfect place to hide or train. Right, so if we go here, I might. Okay. Go hide. Alright, go for it, dude. Let's see what you can do. Oh, no, this is where it came from. Oh, right, I should double jump. It's too bad I can't read Japanese, because I can't tell what that sign says. Might have something to do with growing, though. Or plant? Or vitality? I keep pressing R1 thinking it'll dash, but of course there's a very different game which has R1 as a dash. Uh, but it's not a very different game at all. It is a different game. I guess it's very different in some ways, very similar in other ways. Oh, let's make sun. Use something on here. sapling. Scent of Sakuya. Okay. That's probably part of Sakuya's tree, right? Okay, so I'm gonna follow that route and just see if there's some monsters there that I need to murder. Because the sun by itself didn't do anything. There's a bear on top of a ball who's helping Susanoo train. Oh, that ball. That's what we need. Sleepy bear. I mean, sleepy bears are dangerous. Any bear is dangerous. Susanoo style Susanoo. Why is he attacking those, not the bear? Let's pop that bubble. Poor bear. All he was doing was napping. But at least he'll live. Alright, I don't remember. Okay, I can just push it, huh? Let's see. Can I actually wake him? Can't make. I wonder if that bear ever does anything. I don't remember that at all, actually. What if the bear comes back? In fact, I don't remember that the bear existed in the first place. I do remember that cutscene vaguely, but only because only after I saw the bear, I was like, oh yeah, there's that cutscene that involves a bear standing on top of a ball. So it looks like I want to bring it up and, oops, to the puddle. And there, I'm guessing the sunlight will refract to the sapling and cause it to grow into a big ass tree. Okay. Suddenly the water got a lot more powerful. And of course now it's gonna give us the hint, gee, what should I do? Can't possibly let the player figure it by themselves just by naturally looking at the background. This is very reminiscent of Raiders of the Lost Ark, actually. That one scene. Which, of course, if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But in that one, the light didn't grow a tree, but it did create sound. I remember there was a lot of noise for light just refracting through a prism, essentially. It was a very loud piece of sunlight. Alright, do we got a consolation? Okay, close enough. Oh, it's a monkey. Triumvirate of Flora gods, known as the Hanagami. Green sprout. Alright, I'll do my best to use it wisely. I'll use it to beat a video game. Is that wisely enough for you? I hope it is, because that's my plan. Lots of flora. Drawing a circle on a withered tree. Okay, so it's just a circle, just on a... It's basically concentrated sunlight onto the tree, I guess. These cutscenes are always so gorgeous. Very reminiscent, actually, of the Daikon 4 video made by Gainax before it was Gainax, basically. Made by the animators who ended up founding Gainax. Okay, let's bring that sapling to life. Then after I do that, I think I'll call it a stream. I've been going for a little under 2 hours at this point, and I think this is a good start to this game, which again, I do love this game, and I hope I can get to the end on stream. I imagine it'll take me months. It'll take me at least a month, but likely multiple months if I only play on stream, which that's what I plan to do. So, it'll be that, but I'm not in a hurry. It's cold in Massachusetts. February's gonna be or who knows, but February is usually colder than January in Massachusetts, so that's what I'm expecting. And even if it wasn't that cold, well, I think everyone knows that like outdoor activities are somewhat limited these days anyway. So, playing video games indoors, I'll be spending time on it, and there aren't many games better than this that I could be spending time on. Bro, I think if I slash it while it's in the ground? No. What about... Not sure if that sped it up at all. Or... Really not doing much damage to him. Shh. Okay, I managed to get him coming out. There we go. I'm guessing I didn't get the time bonus. Ooh, yeah, the time bonus was a wee little sapling, fittingly enough. Oh, and are those boars? Can we get meat from them? We got 2 pieces of meat? Let's see. Boars eat anyway. I don't think they eat Meat. No. They eat meat? I don't think they eat seeds. Do they eat fish? They eat seeds? Boars eat seeds? Or are they not boars? Look like boars. Well, guessing boars probably in real life eat everything because they're kind of like pigs, aren't they? And pigs basically eat everything. I feel like how chill this game is. Thought I activated the minigame, the loading screen. Yeah. Got some praise from them. Okay, I can't pick it up, but pick one of these babies up. Okay, thank you for explaining everything exactly, Ishin. Couldn't possibly have experimented with that and figured it out by myself. You know, I imagine the first time I faced one of these, I probably would have just done a bloom and thought, hey, why isn't this working? And then maybe I would have thought, huh, I wonder if it would make sense if I hit the thing back at it and then tried bloom when it was stunned. And, you know, I would have felt like a freaking genius if I did that and it worked. I'd be like, holy shit, I'm so smart. That would have been a great way to build my self-esteem by designing the video game like that. But no, they didn't. Like, here's the answers. This is how you do it. Do it. Okay. There are even more tree bliss. Alright. Are you gonna throw something at me? Oh, shit. What is that? Alright, so there is an auto jump. Actually, I'm guessing the auto jump, yeah, works fairly in a lot of places, but I just don't notice it very much because I tend to not use the auto jump, but manual jump. Right, got 89 reputation. Got that tree spin. So I think this is a good time to maybe use upgrade. No, I still need a bit more. 8 more to be able to upgrade. Oh, there are more bad guys here. I thought this broke his guard. Okay, I guess it does. Guessing I didn't get the time bonus. Oh no, I did. Right. It's hard to tell because the time limit's always different, and you don't know how the game scales it based on the difficulty and the amount of enemies and all that. And there's no timer to tell you whether or not you beat it. Digging tips. Scroll drawn by useful information. Those. Couldn't even give me some free Saint Quartz or something with them. Spots that appear empty may emit light in the darkness. Dig triangle in these spots to find great treasures. Green glow in areas of lush vegetation. Good clover. Much praise. Alright, I'll keep an eye out for that. It is convenient that the game's visual design is... It makes stuff like this stand out quite a bit. Let's see. Praise. I usually like to stick to 10 save files on something like this. So I'll cycle back to 1 on the next save. I feel like more than 10 is probably unnecessary. Alright, got the journal. Is that the hippie? Oh. It wouldn't make any sense. Wouldn't. The thing I am gonna do now also is to... Oh wait, it's mouse sensitivity. There no controller sensitivity? Not playing with the mouse, so no wonder I thought sensitivity stayed low even after I adjusted it. Probably didn't change at all. Here we go. Anya Yen. Right, let's cross this bridge and go back to the wilting tree, unwilt it, then save the game, then I'll end the stream. But I will try to basically defeat every enemy because you do get rewards for them. Time wasn't so good. I guess with just one of those enemies, the expectation's pretty high. Or low, depending on how you look at it. But having all of these ink bottles helps me quite a lot, actually. So investing in upgrading that at the start, I think is definitely a good idea for me. Makes the combat just way easier. There we go. Oof, so pretty, so pretty. It even has fireworks. Holy cow. Must have been really fun making this. Especially since you don't have to draw each individual leaf and wave or anything. You're making it programmatically. Of course, you're drawing some of it manually, but also a lot of it's being rendered based off of uh yeah, the ones that you drew. And you can kind of play around with it, adjust certain settings, and see the results really quickly. Great divine intervention. I wonder what the speedrun record for this game is. It must be pretty long because there's no way to skip some of these cutscenes. Oh no, you can skip, but I don't want to. So it's either skip or you have to sit through the text slowly crawling, even though there's no actual voice acting. That is one of the truly unfortunate things here. There's no actual voice acting to sync up to the text, or to have the text sync up to the voice acting. So there's really no need to force you to sit through the some of the cutscenes. I don't mind that they went with this instead of actual voice acting. I imagine the resources they had, maybe it was better spent on other stuff than hiring voice actors and getting that all sorted out. But yeah, they missed the opportunity to make it way more convenient than it was. Excellent. Butter's clean. Got things things growing, like such as this clover. Oh right, also clover, this is kind of an in-game pun because this game was made by Clover Studio, which is part of Capcom. It's one of Capcom's teams, I guess, called Clover Studios. Either Clover Studios or Clover Studio. So having the four-leaf clover as sort of a major gaming, not collectible, but sort of, is, yeah, just sort of a little Easter egg, I guess. Nice, got the timing. Alright, now I'm gonna go to the save spot over there, and then I'll call it a stream for today. Feedback, herbs. I'm actually gonna try crossing the bridge before I go in. I don't know exactly how that changes things, if at all, but let's find out. No, it doesn't change anything at all. It funnels you onto the left side no matter what. Alright, this actually kind of works out, because this is my 11th save, which means I'm putting it onto slot number 1. 2 hours, 12 minutes in, which is roughly how long I've been streaming. But I guess that's it for me for today. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Unfortunately, my keyboard seems to fall asleep when I don't use it for a while, and when I'm playing a game, of course, I don't use it for a while. But anyway, yeah, good night everyone. Have a good week. Bye.